Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Al Shai, Hashem, Kakadash. And shalom to the hopefully elect out there. Apostle Tahar coming back at you with another video epistle. Anyway, this is going to be very short. I'm going to entitle this video, Predictive Programming, Woe unto thee that trust in Egypt. So this is a sort of it's a response to a video that the elder head of Chicago GMS, Malcolm, had put up, and I was watching up until this point, about a little bit more than half of it. He's going into it, and he was speaking about focusing on a movie called Dead Rising, a Watchtower official trailer. And so right about here, there's a scene where this woman is talking to this man on the news, and they're talking about getting the juicy juice. By the way, this movie was put out, was it 2015? Okay, so it says 2015. It says this was put up 7 years ago. This was put up 8 years ago. So we're talking, about 8 years this was put out. So that at that particular scene, she's saying, giving the pros of taking this juicy juice, and he's kind of, he's kind of giving us a pushback. Well, nobody wants. She said, well, all you got to do is take it once a year. Take this juicy juice once a year, and goes on to say how they'll be tracked. If you have a disease, they know how to come and get you and help you or take you away from people so your other people don't get it. And mind you, this is 2015, so what happened 4 years after that? 4 years, 5 years after that, 4.5, 5 years after that, this big thing, which is what? They're just playing out the movie in real life and hoping people will fall for it. So the man, the interviewer, he says, well, if you're going to take this once a year, I'm not with this, because there's a tracking system with it, and nobody wants the military to track them and put them in a concentration camp. And so when the camera pans back to her, she's got this smirk on her face, and she's trying to get the people to take it. Hey, another movie that came to mind, which I believe you can see that on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but if you search hard enough, you could probably get it. Classic movie, I Am Legend. And they opened up with this, it was called the Crippen, was it the Crippen vaccination? Or was it called the Crippen virus? I hadn't seen that movie in years. But anyway, the doctor says, and it's on the news, and the doctor says, this thing cures cancer. So the Jake woman says, well, what's the percentage? She said, the doctor said 100, I believe she said 109 people received it, and 109 people were cured of cancer. And cancer is nothing but you can heal that for the most part by changing your lifestyle, your diet, completely changing your diet and starving the cancer. Anyway, I thought about that movie as well. I also thought about the movie Contagion, which that came out, when was that? Maybe closer to 2011. I don't know. And that kind of gave the scenario of what they were trying to do in real life, not even 2-3 years ago. So a lot of people, and I see people today with the mask on, especially them Latin tribes. Them Latin tribes, boy, they trust this devil, It says, trust, woe unto thee that trust in Egypt. It's talking about the new Egypt. But anyway, I said all that to say this. You can actually watch the movie for free on Tubi, because I put in the title, then a bunch of sites came up and it said Tubi. So I said, I know that Tubi is free. So here it is, 1 hour, 2 hours long. And this is the opening of it. So if you want to watch the movie, you go ahead and watch the movie. But as the elder was speaking, I was getting into the video. So I'm gonna listen to the rest of the video, then I'm gonna attempt to watch, if not the whole movie, but most of the movie. If it grabs my attention, I'll watch the whole movie. I may do a video on it. But they're gonna do something. See that ragamuffin was a test run to see what people would do. Plus, the pharmaceuticals made a lot of money out of it. And it was ultimately was about control of the people, of the masses. So they know what to do when they set up the C-HIP, because they already know that there's percentage-wise, there's a thing called game theory. I got to do a video on that. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to speak on it. You can look it up. You can do the research. There's a thing called game theory where they do a lot of different scenarios and how to deal with it. Like police, if there's a murder investigation, they paint a scenario in their mind as to this person being murdered. And the first suspect is the husband, the boyfriend, and then maybe the girlfriend. But mostly it's the husband. The first suspect is the husband or it's the boyfriend. If the woman broke up and wanted a divorce for the husband, and then she's dealing with this other guy, and all of a sudden she gets killed, and it's somebody murdered her. The first thing that's gonna pop into their head is it was the husband. It was especially if she got stabbed 102 times. That's called a crime of passion. That you didn't do that just to kill somebody, like a hitman. Hitman doesn't know the person. They pay him to hit somebody, one shot, he's dead. I'm out of here. If you got a knife and you stabbing at a motherfucker over 100 times, that's a crime of passion. So they'll say that's a crime of passion. So they put those scenarios together. That's, in a bigger sense, that's game theory. How long would it take for people to go crazy if we start bringing food into communities? They'll say, well, 2 days they can deal with it. Third day, 3.5 days, they go crazy. So they set up a scenario. That's game theory, just to see how things work. And they can sit down and think tanks. See, that's something you niggas don't do. You don't brainstorm. Look that up. You don't get involved in think tanks. They sit down and think about things before they execute them. Oh, that's what is that? Micah? Give me a second. Precept just popped into my head. I believe it's Micah 2. Micah 2. Let's see if I'm correct. I'm positive it's in Micah 2. Okay, boom. Micah 2:1. Woe to oppressors, or woe to the oppressors. Micah 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity, wickedness, devise it meaning to pull it together, and work evil upon their beds. They're thinking about it. When the morning is light, when they wake up, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. It's in the power of Esau's hand to do what he wanted to do. Ultimately, he's going to push the charagma. So they've been thinking about it for years. So now they're putting it into play. It says, and they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And what is your heritage? Let's look the word heritage up in the Hebrew. Even a man and his heritage. You notice it didn't say man and woman. It said man, so because a woman's supposed to be with a man. A woman was created as a helpmeet of a man. So if you got a woman that's never been married, there's a problem there. It says possession, property, inheritance, heritage, property, portion, share inheritance portion. And that's talking about your land, your resources that's on your land, and your culture, who you are. So they didn't just take us from the land, they take our land, they took away the connection between us and the land, meaning we're the Israelites. If we're Israelites, what land do we belong in? You see? Anyway, like I said, if you want to watch the whole movie, and I might watch it piecemeal. I may watch a little 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, or I might get into the whole movie. But it's on Tubi, Dead Rising, Watchtower. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.